Hello, this is Eric Blackburn, and this is my EDL 856 Understanding My Community Burton Schools presentation. Sociological inventory. Here in Burton, we have a 20% poverty rate. There's a high value placed on loyalty, family, and hard work. The community does a great job of taking care of itself, helping out with kids in need, families in need. Churches are really involved. We have a trailer park group established to involve families and also school employees. We are a low income community. We have many cheap rentals. Filled with a lot of families in transition right now. They really focus on the right now. Tough to look towards the future when you're really just trying to survive. There are a small number of well-off families, however. It is again a community of helpers, and I would just describe it as a typical rural Kansas town with limited diversity. Knowing the customs and traditions. Graduation is expected here in Burton. College attendance, though, is not as focused on. We really do celebrate graduation, and we really need to make that shift from just being pleased with graduation to knowing what do we need to do next. We do have a pretty supportive student body, small families of kids that have known each other for many years. I have 9 kids in my homeroom, and 7 of them have been in. I teach 5th grade. 7 of them have been here since kindergarten, so they've known each other for quite a while. Pre-K through 12s are 12th graders supportive, and there's a lot of attendance at school events. We have family-focused school events such as homecoming, pastries with parents, grandparents' days, things like that. There are after-school youth church programs that are valued here in the community. And we also have community cleanup events that kind of help bring the community and school together for the betterment of everybody. And largely, though, the community does prefer to keep things how they've been. They do like to keep staff members that have been in for a long time. Our high school principal has been around here for going on 15 years. Our and our elementary principal superintendent has been in the community for quite a long time as well. Knowing the population characteristics, the education level of Burton, 8% did not graduate high school. 39% of the community has a high school diploma, 15% has a bachelor's degree, and 5% of the community does have a graduate degree. The average age is 35.9 years old, so it's a kind of an older community. Elementary enrollment is currently the lowest we've ever seen. Class averages are about 11 students, while in the middle school, they have about 26 students per group, and in the high school, there's an average of about 18. Gender-wise, the community split almost 50-50. 50.16% of the population are males, and then obviously the other 49.84 are female. 59, almost 60% of the community is employed. We do have an unemployment rate of just over 7%. It's a blue-collar town, lots of laborers and farmers. Ethnic makeup of our community, 93.3% is white or Hispanic, 1% is Asian, and 3.3% is African American. Language-wise, 89.7% of the community speaks English, 5.5% identify as speaking Spanish, and 3.6% identify as speaking Asian languages. Knowing our communication channels, social media and word of mouth are the primary communication tools. Most of the community members have smartphones, internet access, otherwise hit or miss. Most don't have internet outside of the smartphone. They use the TV for a source of news. School news is transmitted via email and phone calls. A lot of parents want to reach out via Facebook Messenger, unfortunately, but we try and limit that mode of communication as best as we can. Know the community groups. The community groups made up of athletic teams, the school band, theater, K, student group, there's Ks, and then student government. We have charter families, which are mixed age groups of preschool through 12th grade students that are assigned to one teacher. It's basically as long as that teacher is here, they have the same group of kids as they progress through our school. You have about 7 or 8 kids in your school family. We meet with them once a month, and that's really worked to kind of give us a family feel. We have student families, with multiple kids from the same family throughout the town. May have lots of not only just siblings, but also lots of cousins, things like that. We have church groups that are involved, school alumni, faculty and staff, and also the school board members. Knowing leadership, our superintendent elementary principal is one person filling both roles. That's basically the way it's been set up here for quite some time. And then we have a middle high school principal that does both of those. School board members, we have an athletic director and the district leadership teams that are involved in leadership. Our experienced staff members tend to be leaned upon, and then we have parents that are involved. Knowing the community leaders' characteristics, they typically have a vested interest in the future of the school as well as the community. Most own homes in town. Our community leaders, they also own businesses in town, so they have every reason in the world for us to succeed. Hopefully we can churn out graduates that are ready to work for them. And can bring their families back here someday. They contribute time and donate resources to the school when available, and they are focused on what our kids need right now. For them, because many of our community leaders do have students in the school, they're not looking to the future alone. They're also looking at right now, what can we do today to improve us? Knowing the economic conditions, our school is funded by tax dollars. Our community has the highest tax base of any town in Harvey County. Our community continually approves school bonds. They've never voted one down. Even though we are a high poverty, low income town, they do recognize the importance of the school and know that we need to fund it. Most families do struggle. Overall in town, it's about a 20% poverty rate, but 50% of our students do get free and reduced lunch. The average household income here in Burton is about $52,000. The political structure, we are again state and federally funded. We must follow all guidelines to receive all of our funds. This is especially important in the kitchen. It seems to be a continued battle with staff and students to make sure we're following all those rules. And we are in a conservative community, and that does kind of weigh in on what we do at times. We've had some teachers that are more liberal and try and do some more liberal things, and they've been met with some reservation. When I know looking at the social social tensions, socioeconomic strife does occur in some instances, the have versus the have-nots. And then other than that, we have off and on issues with racially insensitive comments between students because we do have limited diversity. Unfortunately, those students that aren't like everyone else are at times targeted, unfortunately, by some of their peers. Extra sources of information for our school come from parent organizations such as the PTA, church groups, and school board meeting minutes. Power structures, the chain of command must be followed within our district. That is a solid point that our leadership makes sure that not only staff but also family men, stakeholders do follow the chain of command. Starting at the bottom, we have aides and teachers, principals, superintendent, and then the school board is at the top. Other than that, teachers have control of their classrooms, and as long as they cover their standards, we can pretty much teach how we like. We have a lot of trust in us from administration. Knowing about the multicultural issues here in Burton, there's really not much diversity, and to me that's the biggest issue. We have currently 2 Spanish-speaking families that we serve, 1 Arabic-speaking family, and then because of them, everything we send home is translated into their home language just to try and increase their buy-in to what we're doing and also their interaction with us. We also have some Jehovah's Witnesses in our community that does weigh in on our birthday and Christmas celebrations. We've tried to be more accommodating with them, and again, the biggest issue is just a lack of diversity. Known power structure, the superintendent is in charge, but she delegates when she can. The teachers are trusted to make the right call. We typically don't have to justify when we're asking to do something. Again, they do trust in what we're doing. They know we're the professionals, and as long as you have a track record of making solid choices and doing what's best for kids, they're really not going to question us. It does kind of become tough, though, with our power structure when the principal and the superintendent those roles are filled by the same person. You don't necessarily want to go to the superintendent with a concern when really you just need the principal, but knowing that she wears both hats, that does make it difficult. Measuring public opinion is done via digital surveys at school events, mailed surveys. They're sent home with students, posted on social media accounts, and also a lot of times the surveys are available in the school office. We have them out at parent-teacher conference night, and it's done to gauge stakeholder opinion on the areas of need. We are a Gemini 2 redesign school here in the state of Kansas, and so we've done quite a bit working with our community stakeholders to see what would they like to see us change, and what are we currently doing that they are pleased with. Public opinion surveys have resulted in us receiving feedback that they want us to improve school lunches, and they want more on community involvement in the activities. They want an increased number of outside classroom activities. They want to see us doing more project-based learning, and also they want us to work to align our curriculum. So that's pretty much a snapshot of Burton Schools. Thank you for viewing my video.